Hi coaches, it's Winnie from Get the Pancake, and it's time for another volleyball coaching vlog. So something that I literally have been losing sleep over is in my last video, I was talking about marketing and making sure that your programs get marketed like crazy. I mentioned that marketing can be really difficult in large organizations where there's only one person in charge of marketing. I just wanted to clear things up really quick before we get started because it sounded like I was upset with the marketing staff that I have right now, and that's not the case. I was talking about marketing in general is typically at pretty much every organization I've been at is a really long process to market events, at least 6 weeks out, if not sooner. And it sounded like I was blaming marketing for no one showing up to my clinic, but really it was just because I had just been hired and they just added it, and it was pretty much impossible for them to market it beyond that. Plus, there's already low participation numbers anyway. So I just wanted to clear that up because the marketing guy that we have at this rec center is awesome, and he was there taking pictures at the program that I ran last night, which is what I'm going to talk about today. And he's awesome. I really like the marketing staff that we have, but there are challenges when you're in a big organization. So just clearing that up. Okay, I have more random things that I want to talk about today. And one of those things related to my class that I ran last night, which was for 4-year-olds to 8-year-olds. So it's a pretty wide range of ages. This is already existing. I might try and tweak that a little bit depending on if we can get more people showing up. But based on what happened last night, I just want to stress the importance of arriving early to your clinics or practices or whatever kind of coaching that you're doing. The class was scheduled to start at 3:45 and I got there at 3:30, which is a little bit later. Typically I like to get there about 20 minutes early or so. But last night I got there 15 minutes early and there was no volleyball net. So between Wednesday and Friday, so I guess Thursday, they had been cleaning out the closet, trying to organize some things. They were cleaning up from Halloween, getting ready for upcoming programs, and the net just went missing. My supervisor was not available. That's not during her work hours, and she's awesome. Answered her phone when I called her in a panic, and the front desk staff was really helpful. They had a couple of people coming and helping me dig through the closets. Again, this is a new organization. I don't really know anybody or know where anything is, so they were very helpful. But fortunately, I got there early, was able to figure out that we were missing a net, and let the front desk staff handle that while I talked to parents and players that were coming in. Yet again, there weren't very many kids. There were only 2 that showed up. There were 3 registered for the class, so really hoping to grow this program. Getting to your practices early gives you time to get set, get prepared. If anything, you're going to be there and just greet people when they arrive. It's always great if the coach is there first. Actually, that should always be the case. The coach should always be there first. But if you have something go wrong, you can handle it and try to solve the issue. So fortunately, someone came in and found the net and we got it set up. But we did a lot of stuff without the net for warm-ups, and I was ready to run a practice without a net if need be because I've had to do that before. Quick funny story, one time I showed up to practice and we were literally missing a wall from the gym. So I have learned literally to be prepared for half of your gym to just be missing. Okay, anyway, so I ran them through some warm-ups, which I think it is so important, especially when you're working with the younger kids. The 2 players that showed up, they're 6 years old. They don't need to stretch, okay? Like they're not hurting like me. They don't need to do arm circles or anything like that. They're ready to go. They literally came into the gym running. They're warmed up. But we use that warm-up time more as a way to get into the volleyball mindset and go through volleyball movement patterns. So what I had them do, since they weren't familiar with some of the terminology that I was using, all I had them do was start on the baseline back in the corner. They sprinted up to the 10-foot line, shuffled across the court, and then backpedaled back to the end line. And then when they both went through that, we did it in reverse. and they had a lot of energy, so I had them do it twice. But there's a reason I did that. It's because we were going to work on passing and we were going to work on shuffling to the ball and backing up. So I was able to say, okay, now we're going to back pedal and now we're going to shuffle. And they already knew what I was talking about because that's what we did in warm-ups. I also wanted to incorporate some approach footwork in there, but they hadn't worked on it yet. But we did end up working on it. So that's what we're going to do next week. But you want to just get them moving in volleyball patterns, even if a volleyball isn't involved or they're not quite ready for certain skills yet. It doesn't have to be pretty. We're just introducing concepts. And I was just trying to tire them out too because they have so much energy. It was crazy. In the past, I've only worked with players that were that young on occasion. So I've ran a couple camps and done some programs with different clubs in different areas of the country. So I had a good idea of what it should look like, but it's not something that I'm super familiar with. So I'm very excited to start running programs with younger kids. But I wanted to tell you about a resource that I used to find ideas for my drills. On Instagram, I follow Premier Volleyball Academy, and that is out of Maumee, Ohio, just outside of Toledo. And I know that because I interned there as an undergrad student at Bowling Green State University, also in Ohio. P.S. If you go to BGSU, try and get an internship with them because they are phenomenal. I was a sport management student, and just the people there are great, the culture's great, and I've used so many things that I've learned from them just in a semester throughout my career, both coaching and administrative. So, highly recommend. Anyway, they run so many volleyball programs. It's insane. I think they have over 30 club teams, plus they have inter-club programs that aren't quote-unquote club teams. And then they have camps and clinics, and I think they're one of the greatest volleyball organizations in my mind. And they recently started posting videos on their Instagram account of the things that they do with their minis and their peanuts. And it's so cute, and everything it makes sense. So if you want to follow them on Instagram, they are at Premier Academy. I'll include a link in the description. Seriously, you will love following them. They post a ton of videos all the time, and they're super helpful. So if you're running programs, even if you're running high-level programs too, they post a lot of videos with their higher-level teams. So go follow Premier Academy on Instagram. The last thing that is on my mind that I wanted to talk about is the difference between volleyballs. So this is something that I got asked a lot as a volleyball director in my previous organization, and a lot of parents and coaches, new coaches, want to know what volleyball should you be practicing at what age groups. So there are kind of 4 different types of volleyball. Actually, there's a lot of different types of volleyballs. I'm going to talk about 4 today. We're not going to be discussing outdoor volleyballs or like those indoor-outdoor mixtures, not talking about those. And there's also a heavy ball that's called the setter trainer. Not going to be talking about that either. We're talking about volleyballs that you use in practice regularly with your teams or clinics. So the first volleyball that I want to mention is there are a couple different takes on this volleyball. There's the molten first touch, and there's another one that's oversized and still lightweight. They're basically a little bit heavier than a balloon, but they're nice and squishy, and it's so easy for kids to hold them, especially at the younger ages. Anything like if you're 9 years or younger, or maybe even 8, depending on if you have young club teams in your area. I would say 8 years old and younger get the lightweight volleyball. So I'll include a link to this type. P.S. It's an affiliate link, so if you do purchase a volleyball through there, I get a commission for sending you there. It doesn't change your cost at all, but it helps me keep providing videos like this one for free. So if you're going to get it, use my affiliate links. Okay, and then the next level up is going to be a volley light. There are a couple different takes on this. The one that I like is the Tachikara volley light. This volleyball, I believe it's 7 ounces, anywhere between 7 to 7.9. So this is what you're going to use in competitions at 12 and under, which is confusing because there is a slightly heavier ball that's called a 12 and under ball, but technically it's 8.1 ounces, which is too heavy to be used in competition at the USA Volleyball national level. Now, I don't know how many of your athletes are going to be going to nationals at that age, but I would just stick with a Volley Light at 6th grade and under. If you want to get those U12 volleyballs, go ahead. They will be a little bit heavier and start to introduce your players to that heavier ball, but if you have Volley Lights and U12 balls, they're essentially the same thing. U12 is going to be just a little bit heavier, but Volley Light is probably closer to what they'll see in competition. So far that's 3. We have the First Touch, Volley Light, U12, and then we have the standard volleyball. So according to the rule book, or at least a shortened version of the rule book, the volleyball used in competition for everyone 13U and above is supposed to be between 9 and 10 ounces. There are tons of standard volleyballs that could work for your program. Again, I prefer Tachikara, but Molten's just fine. I mean, as long as it's the right weight and you like how it feels. I like the synthetic leather it almost feels velvety. That's my favorite, plus you can get them in fun colors to match your program. If you're going to be buying volleyballs for a program and you're going to be getting different weights, I highly recommend that you get them in different colors. So for example, get the Volley Light in white and blue, and then get the standard volleyball maybe in white and black, or just all white, or white and red. But have them easy to differentiate so that players don't mistakenly use the wrong weight of volleyball. Another note on Volleyball Colors, I really like the white and pink ones. However, boys volleyball is growing. If you don't already have boys volleyball in your program, you probably will soon, so keep that in mind. And in my experience, parents, for whatever reason, get really upset when their boys are using a white and pink volleyball. I mean, I guess I get it because pink is technically a girl color, but I would just avoid white and pink just because more boys are getting into volleyball, and you want these to last for a couple of years, and you don't know what your plan is going to be a couple of years from now. Or maybe you do, but I think it would be safer to just get, even white and purple is fine, but just no on the pink. All right, that's a lot of information that I threw at you for my 3rd volleyball coaching vlog. Don't forget to check out getthepancake.com. Get a cool t-shirt like this one. You can twin with me, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.